Hi. So for today's recipe, we're going to make a Filipino dish called Pancit Bihon, which is rice noodles. And for that, our ingredients will be a few pieces of chicken breast, which are diced and marinated with a little salt. We've got green beans, chopped up onions, ginger, and garlic and red chilies. A little bit of celery, carrots, finely diced, and for our sauce, we've used. So you've got your Mamacita's oyster sauce, less sodium. I've got my vinegar here. It's a spiced vinegar. We've got the Kikkoman soy sauce, freshly ground pepper, pink salt, and some oil. And the main thing we'll be using to add flavor to this is fresh chicken broth. So I'm not going to use a chicken cube, I'm using chicken broth. We take a nice deepish wok and we add in our oil, just a little bit. And we put it not on high, but just a little above medium. So we've gone up to the 7 on that. So once the wok is hot and the oil is hot, we add the onions in. We start sauteing the onions and then we add the chicken. Once we've added the chicken in, we let it saute for a little while and then we add the sauce mixture here, which is the oyster sauce and the soy sauce. And now we let this reduce down. And we also add in, at this point, we add in some pink salt and black pepper. And now let this come to a boil. Once this starts bubbling, we add in a cup of chicken broth. Once we've added the chicken broth, we let it come back up to the boil. And then we let it simmer for 10 minutes until the chicken cooks. So now we have the chicken which is boiling quite well. And to this we're going to add the vegetables and we start adding them in the timeline of what cooks the longest. So we have the celery chopped up, that goes in, and the carrots first. The beans which I'm using have already been parboiled for a little while, so they're partially cooked. We mix this in and cover it and let it continue cooking for another 10 minutes until it comes back up to the boil. So just a tip to help them cook faster, the noodles, we've broken them into smaller cubes. And this will go into the mix once it comes back up to the boil, along with the green beans. To this, just to help them cook, based on how much liquid you have in the pan, you can add in a little bit of water if you need. So now that we have the mix come back up to the boil, my liquid's a little less, so I'm going to add in a little water, just another half cup or so. So we have enough liquid to cook the noodles in. I'll give it 5 minutes to let it boil again, and then I'm going to add my noodles into this. The noodles will absorb all the liquid you have here, which is a nice chicken soupy broth, and then we are ready to go. I've added a little less soy sauce this time because we don't want the pancit to come very brown. You can see it's got a lot of vegetables and beans in it. We'll give it 5 minutes. So now it's come back up to the boil. Give it a quick mix. Smelling really good. Now we start adding in the noodles, as chunks. And as we put it in, we soak them in push them in so they sink down below the broth level. At the same time, once we put the noodles in, we lower the heat to simmer. Just keep pressing on the blocks of noodles as they cook down. Keep coating them with broth so they become softer. And as they sink below, they start cooking and opening out. At this time you have to keep monitoring your broth to see if it's not evaporating and drying up fully. Or you're going to start burning your noodles. So once the noodles start getting soft, just a quick tip, let's take 2 chopsticks and just start pulling them apart. If you use a spoon, you tend to damage and break the noodles too much. So with chopsticks, as they become soft, just lightly just start moving them apart. So if you see now, it's coming together. According to my wife, it looks really like pancit. But again, when we taste it is when we're going to know. So once you have all, if you look here, all the liquid in the broth is dried up. That's what you want. But the whole point of cooking it slow is to allow the noodles to absorb the flavor of the chicken broth. And I think it's done now. We'll come back to you once we served out a plateful. So now it's been sitting and resting for a little while. You can see the smoke coming outside. Now we serve some out. So you need a spoon and a set of tongs for this. Take out some of the chicken and the veggies. And then give it a mix. And just get some of the noodles. And there you have Filipino Pancit Bihon ready.